Howdy, howdy, howdy out there. And as always at the start of the show, I don't know why I have to wait until it's running before I can change it from my personal Facebook account to the Biker News Canada group. And I think I can make some changes probably on the group and the page and all that in the new year while things are getting rearranged and redone for the new year. I'm going to start streaming the live onto the Facebook page because Meta has monetized my Facebook page, but I don't get a dime for the Facebook group, which is what I've put all my attention into. And there's 12,000 members of a private group. I'm pretty proud about that and pleased. I've had some help with some other guys along the way, and I thank everyone who helped. And I got to get everybody shifted from the group over to the page. It doesn't cost anyone who's a member or anything like that, or who follows the group, a dime out of pocket, unless they want to subscribe. And at the same time, I'm going to get this AdSense stupid thing worked out. And there'll be a subscription on the YouTube, which I would prefer that everyone did. But then if I got a subscription on both, so if somebody is subscribing to the Facebook page and not the YouTube subscription or membership sort of thing, whatever it's called, but I can stream the bonus show to both of those locations. So it'll still work out for everybody. And if you're paying for something extra, you expect to receive something extra. It's just the way life goes. So I got Nomad. How are you, Nomad? Good to see you tonight. Thanks for dropping in, my friend. Kate Wayne's in the house. How are you, brother? And of course, I had nothing to talk about today. I've been out working all day, so I had no time to mess around too much. So what I'm going to do, it's unfortunate because I'm going to do this once in a while through the winter so I can get a show up. You know, I could have, if I had some time, I would have pulled together one of those old crime stories because they're always fun, right? They're always good for a laugh and gives you a bit of an idea how the bikers in Canada were up to back in the day, which sometimes is only the 80s or 90s. It's not that big of a day. And some of the stories are from further away, but, you know, there wasn't a whole lot going on up here as far as like big club conflicts and stuff like that until, you know, the two different clubs from the big three moved into Canada. And then, of course, it popped off because it was already popped off where they came from in the States and all that shit, right? So that's it. We're going to do the Canadian rights, you know, the same old shit. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, if you have to, back in the, 70s, I guess. And this is one of the bands that had the most influence on my music and shit and kind of how I think and stuff, was The Clash. Remember The Clash? And they had a song called Know Your Rights. Now, they're British, but it's the same shit. And it goes across the ocean. It goes across from place to place. You know what I'm saying? So the big hook in it, or hey, the real truth, how are you? The opening line of it just killed me every time. So it was, you know, you know your rights, all three of them. And that's basically about it, right? So, you know your rights, all three of them. You have the right not to be killed unless it's done by a policeman. Number two, you have the right to food money, providing, of course, you don't mind a little humiliation. Number three, you have the right to free speech as long as you're not dumb enough to actually try it. Know your rights. These are your rights. Perfect. I don't think the world has changed much since they wrote that song, man. It feels about the fucking same, doesn't it? Those are the kind of words that just kind of keep going over time, unfortunately. Hey, Kurt, good to see you, brother. How are you tonight, man? And we got Floyd in the house. Thanks for dropping in on us, Floyd. Good to see you, bro. And Grant here, too. Good to see you, too, Grant. And we got Bruce in the house, too, brother. How are you, man? So, yeah, you know, up here in Canada anyway. I can't speak for what happens in other countries and all that. And yeah, I saw that message. Thanks, man. But I know from personal experience. What was I going to run that on? Oh yeah, I was going to run that on Patreon. From personal experience, um, the police are always doing intelligence on bike clubs, especially the one percenters, the big clubs. It's they have big budgets for it. They they get all their army sort of vehicles for it, and they get the jails built up for it, and they spend millions of dollars in the courthouses for it. They love that shit. When they had us in the London jail, so they arrested 50 members and associates. So it was probably maybe 25, 30 actual patched in members. And then say maybe about half of those guys got bail within the first month or so of us all getting rounded up. So there's about 20 outlaws in that jail. Now, when they took us to court, they put a lead vehicle, an armored vehicle behind the paddy wagon that we were sitting in, and flew a fucking helicopter from the jail to the fucking courthouse. And we were laughing and laughing. There's like 20 guys. We can't even, between the 20 of us, we can't even figure out how to fucking get someone to bring us in a pack of cigarettes for God, or a bale of tobacco. Never mind. Fuck, what do you think? It's Sons of Anarchy and we got some guys out there and they're going to break us out? Come on. The fucking courthouse transport. I never seen such a clusterfuck for 20 old guys. Like I say, most of us are just, holy fuck, man, can we get this over with? I hate waking up early on court day. Fucking sucks. Hey, Davey, good to see you tonight, bro. So, but anyway, they start with their intelligence, or their intelligence is ongoing. It's ongoing. It's nonstop. It's go, go, go. So even when I started hanging out with the club, so first I would go to the clubhouse every once in a while. And then I'd go to the clubhouse once a week. And then I go to the clubhouse every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then from there, I moved in with a member and then I was around all the time and blah, blah, blah. Things went from there. So they started pulling me over about in the moving in with a member stage. So, there was one of the members was in jail and he owned a 3-bedroom house. So the other brother who was just patched in, just got his patch, he rented the house so he could pay the brother's mortgage. And I rented one of the rooms in the house. So we ended up roommates, right? It was a sweet deal for me. I was single. I didn't care. A sweet deal for him because I was a disc jockey at a strip joint. So he really liked that advantage of it, right? Oh, I tell you, K. Wayne, it was hilarious. They put a new fence up around our county jail for us. So then it became a double fence. It's like basically a supermax. They put a sally port for the transport vehicle to come in and out every day. They spent millions of dollars at the courthouse putting up metal detectors, and you could only come in this entrance and put all your crap on the tray. The London courthouse, you used to just walk right in, you walk around, you end up, pop your head in Superior Court. Nobody said shit until we were all in jail together. It was fucking hilarious. They just did it for the budget, I would assume. Yeah, I may do, man. I think I will. I'll talk to him. I don't know if we're gonna do a show together, but I'll talk to him. See what he's saying. Yeah, it was fucking weird, and that was just all pre-trial custody, right? But they wanted to make the big show of it. It was the big bad, and these guys are the baddest of the bad. And meanwhile, 81 had just moved into our fucking city about 3 months before they rounded us all up, or 6 months or a year, whatever it was, right? So they had just set their feet down and opened a clubhouse, and a bunch of our members defected, and they basically gave us a big F you. What do you want to do about it? And we were like, I guess not too fucking much right now. And all of a sudden we were all in custody anyway. But they really, really made a spectacle of it, man. Yeah, I never bothered, because we were in the bucket. Our yard would be in inside courtyard. You know what I mean? So I never saw the fence except for driving by it. But they did they spent that money and they built them fences. Hey John, good to see you, bro. Really good to see you. Yeah, man. Like I say, I'll talk to him. We'll see if we do a show together. I need to speak to him off camera first and see what he thinks he's got and whether it's verified and whether I want to do a show that's throwing shit on a guy that I personally like. And those are all big considerations for me. If I give somebody my respect, you got to have something that's verified and true to change my mind. You know. But anyways, I'll talk to him. I've spoke to him before. He's a good guy. Um, how were your? I guess your pre-trial jails are the same as they're up here. They're all basically high maxes because they don't know who they got in there. Like those jails, like there's no way you're getting out of one of them joints. You know what I mean? And nobody works together in the jail anyway, so it just it wasn't going to happen. But they were just crappy and dirty and in and out people and all that shit. And you're still sitting there a year later wondering if you're fucking ever going to get to trial. Yeah, yeah. So basically, I think what we were being held at, you would consider probably a county jail. It was your pretrial custody place, right? Because then you guys go to the state or the Fed, depending on what your sentence is, right? I think that's how it goes. Oh yeah, I knew he would. Real truth, like I say, we've never talked in other people's chats and stuff like that. I got a feeling he watches my show from time to time. Yeah, that's how ours are. So a provincial offense is deuce last, which means that you're going to serve 18 mows, but you don't have a federal record, or do a deuce plus a day, and now you got a federal record, but you can be out on a fast track in 1/8 of your time. So it depends. You want the Fed record because the next number goes higher. It never stays the same or goes lower. Your next thing, if you're doing it something again, boom, it goes higher and higher each time, right? Yeah, so it'd be the same as your county jail. That's what I thought. No, we put our Fed guys in with the shoplifters, which became a problem a couple of years ago because one of the kids who was like a shoplifter, he stole a cell phone. Um, his cellmate drank a shine one night, and that kid went home in a bag, man. So it was a pretty big bunch of bullshit for that to happen, but it happened. He spent a week in a holding cell. That ain't bad, man. Jaro, good for you. Yeah, they are awful. They make them awful so that they dehumanize you. They actually tender you up for when you get to court that you're just saying, fuck yeah, I did it. Just get me the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Fuck that. That same with me. We used to, so the big penitentiaries where the dudes are doing bits, um, all the outlaws would end up in a couple few jails, but the one big one was called Joyceville Penitentiary back then, and they had the most numbers of club guys inside that jail, all in the same club, and so they have committees, and so they had a biker committee or whatever they called it. Maybe it's a wood committee in the States, they would call it, right? And the committees could have socials. You have to get a couple committees to host it together, so they will make everybody from different cars work together, right? So, anyways, I go down there for the socials and take their moms and their kids and their shit. And in the summer, they'd have a steak barbecue in the backyard for you. You walk around on the yard, and that they use for yard time, right? I couldn't imagine spending fucking a decade in there, man. You go fucking loony as fuck in there. And then if you start getting involved in shit, and you're getting popped in and out of SAG or sent down to the shoe. No, no. I don't think that's my, you know, I think just holding cells are inhumane in America. You are allowed only to shower and basically no interaction. So they basically got you an administrative SAG, and you've never done anything. You're just waiting to get in front of a judge to see if he'll cough you a bail. That was always my thing. Like, when's the justice of the peace going to get here, man? When's bail court rolling, man? That's all I want to do. I want to talk to nobody. I don't care about you guys. I know I'm under arrest. When's bail court? And did somebody call my fucking lawyer? Hey, snap the, what are we got? Snap the rain. I get you, man. Good to meet you. I don't know why I looked at it where there's fucking printing smaller. And on the other side, I can actually see what it says. Hey, unknown, good to see you tonight, man. Very nice. Thanks for dropping in. I dig that. Yeah, I never had the displeasure of going through a juvie system. It was gross here in Ontario. They shut a bunch of them down, and there's a big class action going on for how they treated the kids. But I never ever went through the juvie system. No way. Hey, man. Yeah, the book, bro. Good for you, man. Did you dig it? Thank you for that, man. I tried to really fucking portray how it felt at that time when all that crazy shit was going on. And there was so much good shit that happened too. You know what I mean? There's so many good times. I managed to squeeze a few of the really good times into the book. So it wasn't all bluster and fluster and make people think it was an all out Vietnam War or something going on, right? But I dig it. We're getting old eyes, Bob. Yeah, you got that right, Davey. Man, I'm looking at it going, what the fuck's that say? And it was right over there. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. You spent 8 years in ad seg. Holy fuck. Wow. I did 3-4 months in ad seg, and I think I'm in on a class action for that too. Because all that shit that they've been doing us people in the prisons has been fucked for years, and it's against the fucking Geneva Convention, and they're slapping it on us still. It's fucking horrible. That's what you gotta do in jail. I read every fucking book I got my hand on. I read the whole library in the London jail. Every fucking book. I started having buying books. And when you buy books off the canteen, you leave them on range when you leave, right? So I probably had fucking a dozen books. Because there was no way I wasn't going to keep my mind busy. I was talking the other day with someone about the schools in America resemble the prisons, same instruction design. And yeah, exactly. It's like they're training the kids, especially, you notice, it's more like that. It's more institutionalized the more inner city they go. So out in the burbs, they probably got some big wide open campus, and it's all fucking butterflies and fucking rose bushes. And then the further inner city you get, it's a cinder block fucking building, and you got to ask to go for a pee, and it's like fucking metal detectors at the doors and cops and shit. It's not cool. They're training them. 14 days is all it takes, eh? That's crazy. Yeah. I'm so crazy ever since I did those fucking few months in the seg, bro. I've been a little bit fruity ever since, I'll be honest with you. Like, woo, the fuck's this guy on about? You wouldn't believe how many people give me that look. What the fuck did you just say? Like, oops. That's just the way I am. So again, I made a whole bunch of videos for Patreon, right? And they're over there. They're on Patreon. And basically the feedback I got back off of everybody, which I'm glad everyone's honest, is Nobody really digs the AI stuff. And I intentionally made those all with AI. I don't know why. I just thought maybe that was the way it was going on YouTube. But it's fine. I can break them all back down and narrate them myself. So that's what I think that we're going to do. We're going to try. Now, I didn't get a chance to run this through and get the transcripts for it, unfortunately. So I'm just going to read it as the subtitles pop up because I don't remember what I put in this episode. I'll be quite honest with you. And it's probably not in the real way that I speak, and you guys know how I speak by now. So probably as I'm reading it, I'll switch it over to how I speak. I've got the volume turned off, so we don't have to listen to the AI guy. I used AI because it was easier to get the background pics. Because you'd have to download 7 million fucking photographs off of Google to have enough background pics to do 120 different episodes. And these episodes are maximum 10 minutes because that's all the app I was using would do for me for whatever fucking thing. You know, these things are stupid, right? These apps, but they are what they are. And I gave it a try. And this is what I come out with. Maybe I should put some by. Oh yeah, so it says bikers. Yeah, we all know the feeling. So that happens a lot. You know, you get out there with your bros, and you know we used to do it. We'd rip around all through London, Ontario. Strip joints were on the East End. The nightclubs where we hung out and pulled chicks out of was downtown. And in between, it'd be all hell breaking loose and bikers flying up and down the road. And if you're under investigation or wanted to know if you're under investigation, you fly down the road at 60, 70 miles an hour and see if they pull you over. If you pack 6 cops and they all look down, then chances are you got bigger problems. So, what are you saying? I'd spin around and go, oh, yeah. You guys just shake their heads and walk off. At the end of it, I wouldn't even talk to the guards or nothing. I stopped talking for a fucking long time, just to myself. It was quite something. So yeah, you ride around, and then they're pulling you all over. Now the traffic stop. If you're a new guy, they'll come and buddy you, right? They'll come and buddy you, try to drag you into what sounds like an innocent conversation, but there's no conversation with a guy wearing a uniform with flashing lights behind you that's innocent, especially if you're in what they're calling an OMC or an OMG or whatever the fuck they're calling them. You know what I mean? And yeah, James, our freedoms are getting slowly washed away. If that thing in Quebec goes through, now Quebec's kind of a separate banana, but let's face it, they're one of the largest Canadian provinces. We know who they're going after with their Quebec thing, but at the same time, it won't take long for the Ontario guy, because Fortescue doesn't like anyone either, and say, oh, you tie that to a sex offenders list and it'll pass. What a great idea. In the way they go, next thing you know, it's in Ontario. But the cops are famous. I remember they pulled me over after the 81 and come and set up shop, and a few of our guys had defected and blah, blah, blah. And they pulled me over the end of my driveway. I got a couple things in my waistband I don't want them to talk to me about. So I stay in my car and we're in my driveway. And the cop comes up to me. It's in the book, actually. And he goes, hey, man, I really respect you. You know, you didn't jump ship like the other guy. You held your tough and blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, bro, I'm not trying to, bro, I didn't say that. Listen, man, I'm not trying to fucking impress you. Like, what do you want? We're doing a ticket, a traffic stop. Here's my license, insurance, and registration. I got to go feed the dog. You go run my paperwork. And I ran in the garage and threw some things in the dog food, and the dog got fed, and we all went home. It was a happy ending. No, and then guards inside are not your friends either, man, ever. Hey, Rick, good to see you tonight, bro. Are you back in the big smoke? Living on top of them condos. That's the way to do it, bro. So yeah, I've made these videos for kind of newbies into the motorcycle world, right? But even I'm starting to wonder, and I need to ask a few more people that I speak to if they're starting to target riding clubs and MCs that are not one percenters. Oh, by the way, we got Lincoln County MC on tomorrow night for an interview. They're the guys with the Welland Speedway, the flat track racetrack. We've had them on once. They want to come on again and talk about what they got planned for next year. So I figured, fuck yeah, let's have them on again because they were cool people, man. I liked them. What do you got last night? Oh, okay. And they're home for a week. I was gonna say they're not cutting you loose already, are they, bro? I'm sure that there's gonna be months and months of testing. How's everything feeling anyway? Is it working? Like can you feel like a difference? Like yeah, you get a full breath and all that shit now? I don't think I've had a full breath in the last 5 years. So how much you really got to answer if you actually know your rights, which really isn't much. If it's a paperwork stop, you just got to give them the paperwork they've asked for, and that's pretty much the end of the fucking story for what you have to say. You don't have to say shit. The rule, yeah. So they try to intimidate you, yeah. And if you ain't doing nothing, then they're just fucking bugging you. And that's what they do when you first get in on a 1% MC. They start to pull you over a lot and just bug you and give you a ticket, ask you about another guy who's in the club. They'll say something that sounds, like, hey, I haven't seen so-and-so around for a long, and just start asking questions that's, no. If you don't know any better, it's like, oh yeah, he's just been a little bit, but then you just fed them something. Now they know that you'll answer simple questions and they'll take it from there. For the states, tell your watchers, the Miranda warning tells you specifically that everything you say can and will. Exactly. And they use the Miranda in Canada as well, bro. I think it's the same warning. I think it's worded the same and everything. I think. I could be wrong, but I guess, they pull the card out of the back pocket and they give it to you. It's like brand new breathing, 99% oxygen. Fuck yeah, that'd be wicked cool, man. Good for you. I'll be home for a week and then back for one more operation. Wow, man. That's pretty quick. I'm impressed. Too bad the wait's so bad, eh? And the other fella there you introduced me to in the wheelchair, that poor guy's waiting on a kidney. And I don't know, it does like I got him to send me the paperwork, but I do too much. I smoke weed and I smoke this and I smoke that, and I might eat a pain pill from time to time. They're not going to take an organ out of me to give to nobody. So they're going to take an organ out of me to put in a science center. I feel bad for the dude, man. I'd love to see him get his kidney and hang in there. He just built a quad. I still haven't got him on because of the way his day is and his dialysis because of the kidney thing and all that. I have to speak to him in the afternoon and then replay it in the evening. And we've just never put it together and hooked up yet, but we will. Hey, Mom Iron Ranger, how are you today? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I thought it was unknown. I thought it was worded pretty much. Yeah, it is the same. They may as well police officer not give testimony for you. Well, sometimes the way they word the questions is they're and it's something that you really got to pay attention to. They'll word something so that they put the question and the answer in the same thing, and you just say yeah or something like that, and you've admitted to something. Like there's really no good reason to get in a conversation if you're in that lifestyle with a cop. There's just no good reason for it, right? Cop told me that was actually a cool guy. He was sure I wasn't because of my type of biker. Are you a club guy, bro? No, it's up to you. If you don't want to say, you don't have to. But yeah, it's Because that's what I'm starting to wonder. Are they starting to come at the riding clubs and those sort of people, depending on what they're called, right? I guess anything that's called Bikers Against Bullying or Guardians of the Children, chances are they won't get harassed. But what if you're calling yourself the headhunters just because it sounds cool? Are they bugging them? Who the heck knows, right? Gang, gang. Yeah, he still needs a kidney, the poor guy. I put a couple blurbs on a couple videos, and I put it on the Facebook group once in a while. Like you say, he just rebuilt a quad so that he can ride it. I think he's got a few more things he has to get modified and put on. And he's already done it to that enduro motorcycle that he's got. So I still want to interview him because he's going to be an inspirational to somebody, to see somebody who's like that. He's accepted how life is for him, and he's in a chair, and he's not just going to roll over and play dead. I respect a man like that. Oh, you're going from work, okay? It's wonder they can't grow fucking brand new kidneys for somebody, for a guy like him, man. And shit, if his back or spine or something, right? He's a paraplegic from a teenage car accident, I believe. Um, just get him the stem cell and fuse the spine back. I thought that's what all this stem cell research was going to be for, to take care of big injuries like that. It'd be cool if it got that way. It'd be really cool if it got that way. Yeah, exactly. It would be. See, I remember a story. I didn't really know the guy, but he's a friend of my friend, and they were kids together up in Ottawa. And same deal. They got in a car crash. The car load of teenagers, and one of them passed, and this guy got put in a wheelchair, and that was it. And he never shook it. He ended up swallowing a 12 gauge and saying "fuck all this," and he went home. Those guys, the Guardians and Bakken and groups like that, are heavily vetted before they can even join the club. Yeah, it's true. I check my local police. Yep, yep, yeah. I've still got my police record check from when I was, and I still might end up hanging out with these guys, but not at this point. It's not the right move for me with the Natty guys, the North American Templar guys, and that was one of the things. But it's what do they call that thing? So that just to know that you don't have any um, kid offenses, right? Um, so it's not for your whole criminal record. It's just about that sort of charge specifically. There's a special name for it, and it's the same sort of things that like bus drivers and day school teachers and shit like that have to do, right? And anyone who's going to be in contact with children basically has to have the same sort of background. No, I didn't join up with them, bro. And it's still on the table, and we'll see where the future goes. When I interviewed him, and it happens a lot, and I'm kind of happy about that. When I interviewed him, and he was kind of like the head dog I interviewed, Frank. He's a really nice guy. He kind of went, fuck, I really like that guy, and I like talking to him. And we just sat and talked about whatever, and an hour flew by like that. You know how many people that I interviewed tell me that? They're like, wow, it was really cool talking with you because it didn't feel like, oh no, I don't mean those kind of Templars, but it didn't feel like an interview, and you got all the information. And that's basically what I try to do on each interview, right? So he came at me with a really cool idea for a channel. I just don't know if we can implement it. No, because that club's not like a 1% club, bro. It's a club that helps kids and moms and that get out of bad situations, and where kids are getting, hurt and that like that in their own home and shit. But no, I was never a member of a Mason or a Templar or nothing like that. No, no. But his idea for a channel was for me to talk with survivors explain how they got helped and how they got out of that situation, which I thought would be a great idea so that other people that are in that situation and they don't got nobody to turn to can maybe watch some of these shows and say, okay, I'm going to contact this group or that group or whatever. You know what I mean? But then it's like, fuck, man. It's such a touchy subject. And I wouldn't want to do anything that's making the creeps get their jollies watching the fucking interview. You know what I mean? So I just don't know how to format it yet. And I've wanted to do it, and I think it'd be, it'd have to be a whole separate channel, of course. Put the girl behind the screen or blur her face or change her voice or something. And if it's been in the papers, they can talk about it. If it's been before the courts and it's open knowledge, they can talk about it. But then I don't want accused people coming back and suing me either for defamation, because it's a serious accusation, right? So I just thought, fuck, we got to think about that, man. We got to think about that. No, I know that those guys were cool back then. The Crusades were quite a shit show. It's the North American Templars. They've got a chapter in Toronto, and then Frank lives in Ottawa. And I was supposed to join in with a couple of the fellas that I've got to know from this thing in Huntsville. And then the big, I don't know, one of the big clubs was saying the one guy couldn't go in and wear any patch in Ontario. And one of the other clubs said the same about me, but it wasn't a club guy. It was just some fucking random guy. And it all started getting convoluted. And I started losing my temper. And so when I start losing my temper, it's better for me just to fucking stop talking about it and walk the fuck away. So that's what I did. So, well, yeah, just think of all the fucking people that have been killed in the name of the fucking Bible, man. Like I just can't get my head into religion for those same reasons. And then all the times of the Vatican switches priests around, so they that fuck, man. And then they're going to look down their noses at a dude like me? No fucking way. Not a fucking chance. You know what I mean? That's why I can never get into religion. I just can't get past those kind of thoughts. Yeah, I'm just watching this video a little bit. So it's the same thing that I know I wrote it into it, you give me your ID and the proof that the vehicle's legal and okay to be on the road, and that's the end of your conversation. You don't got to do nothing else than that. Hey, Rick, good to see you tonight. Seen a couple vids. Thank you. I know some Freemasons are honestly pretty solid. I think the Masons are pretty cool dudes, and being as I consider myself to be Scottish descent, I also have my one buddy. It was the Scottish descent. My high school buddy, he joined the Masons. He thought it was cool. He liked it. No, and I used to be a bartender from the same people, because the son who was my friend, there's a Shriner Hall here in London. They call it the Mocha Temple, and these dudes who are Shriners or what's the other ones, Freemasons or whatever, come in there, and it's their own little private lounge. They'll have a few drinks and maybe go downstairs and play some billiards on the big fuck off snooker table and that. And I picked up some bar shifts in there. Then they had the back hall that they rent out for weddings and stuff. I picked up some bar shifts in there, and them old dudes, like you say, they weren't in there daily pounding back on the Scotch bottle or nothing. When they came in, they used to get a little glow on and stuff, and they shoot the shit with me, but they don't tell you secrets. Oh, the Chosen Coast. Oh, that's even fucking worse. So they grabbed them, instead of switching their religion, they turned them into slaves. Ay, ay, ay. You got to join CMC Oh yeah, John. Yeah. It's you. I don't know. For now, I think I'm gonna keep myself busy with the channel, if I, which my plan is 100% to get up on two wheels, come out and support all you different guys. You know what I mean, bro? That's really what I want to do. The Templars and Big Swede don't like the way it was being run. That's got to be the same thing because that's what they were called, North American Templars. And they split out from another group called Templar something something, and they're talking about the head of that guy is one of the people that they're trying to protect kids against, and it turned into, and then that guy spoke to me and asked me if I wanted to come on his team and this and that, and then I, like you say, it was starting to get annoying, so I just backed up from it. I just, no, I'll back up for now. Hey, thanks, Rick. I appreciate that, bro. See, at least when I talk about stuff, I talk about shit out of experience or something that I know 100% to be fact, or I don't say it right. I don't like doing that. You hit the like button. You got that right. I like that panel. Brace should come in every show and remind everybody. And I can't thank you enough, bro. I appreciate that. BBB, how are you, brother? Good to see you tonight. Church had them sold before they. Oh, gross, man. It's fucking horrible, isn't it? You got Harley come on Shogun. Yeah, he's going to come back. Yeah, he has promised me. And I consider him a man of his word. They're on him to be a Freemason. You're told we start as a rough stone and we're supposed to become a smooth stone in life by doing good and right by others. That's good. And they do. They take care of themselves and their families. And generally, most of those people are very successful. And most of them are entrepreneurs and they give back and they give a lot, with the burn hospital and all that shit. They put a lot into that. And like I say, you can tell by the way they dress. I was only in my late teens and early 20s back then, but I knew by the way they dressed, they weren't having no money issues at their house. Nobody does all the time. Oh, guys, slip up. It's a brotherhood. Yeah, right, right. It's a brotherhood. So if there is a guy having a down cycle, you know, you don't give them anything per se, except for guidance, how to get out of it, because that's actually a better way to help a person is to give them some guidance. Maybe if they need a little startup or something to get things moving, sure, but no handouts, right? No handouts. It's not a come and suck our tit kind of organization, right? You got to hold your own, and it's the same inside of a motorcycle club, especially like a 1% club, where the first thing they tell you, right, a leg up, not a handout, is no patch is bigger than the other patch. That's one of the very first things that you got to learn as you're getting into that life. Now, there's respect for guys that have, you know, been in the outfit for a long time, and respect for guys that have done maybe long sentences inside for the club, not for their own stupidity, for the club and stuff like that. But no patch is bigger than the other patch. So if you got something to say, you got to start at your home chapter and make sure you get your voice heard. Even if you just got your patch yesterday and there's something that's been itching on you since you were prospect or probate, and the next day that you go to church, boom, get it out of your head and onto the table. And if it was just something that can be explained away, cool. If it's something that maybe they could tweak the way they do things, cool. You know what I mean? Just don't bring it out like you're bitching or whining or complaining right out of the gate, right? So there's just ways to do things and ways to handle different things. And just so you're not looking like either you're looking for a handout or you're not looking like you just got your patch and the first thing you want to do is become emperor, because that won't fly. You know what I mean? You got the Edge in the house. Good to see you tonight, Edge. Just took a dement in good standing from me after 16 years. Wow, hey, that's pretty cool. So they let you split, eh? See, and I don't know that much about Freemasons if they got like weekly meetings that are mandatories and all that stuff. I don't know enough about that sort of organization. I find them interesting. I guess it'd be the same way that people find motorcycle clubs interesting. If you're on the outside looking in, they seem, they seem all, you get whatever picture you can put in your own mind about it, right? Because you don't know. Yeah, exactly. You start crying as soon as you're back. I don't like this. Get back to the prospect patch, bud. Oh, so it was the other way with the big Swede. He was with the Templar, North American ones. That's the guys I know. And then he went off on his own. So I think that's the guy that they're saying is shady. That's the guy that the North American Templars are saying is shady. I think if it's the same person, I don't know. I thought he had a different nickname from the one you're telling me. So, but yeah. So now all of a sudden to muddy the waters, now there's two clubs that are basically called the same thing and basically have the same mission statement, right? And again, if it's for the up and up, and I felt that the North American Templars were for the up and up. It's just they were a little bit scrambled still, and they had to streamline and get things together. You know what I mean? And I'd love to help, but I don't got the time. So it'd be the sort of thing I'd jump into, and then I'd fucking grind at it. Well, the rest of my life fell apart. So I just can't do that sort of thing right now. The rest of my life is falling apart as it is. So, you know what I mean? I better keep grinding at something that's going to put money in my pocket. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's how I operate when I join an organization. I'll go in there full fucking steam ahead. And like you say, don't worry about myself. So yeah, so if they ask you more questions, you can say you respectfully refuse to talk to them. That's the whole thing. I think that's the whole thing. That's just the whole thing. And I stretched it out for 7 minutes because that's what you do on these kind of videos, right? I don't think we need to talk about that anymore. That's about all it is. Is it? I did a video about you don't got to say nothing. We used to have the thing, and it was one of the older fellas. Of course, it's nice to have the older fellas in our chapter because our chapter wasn't huge, who were willing to hang out with us guys, and we all hung out together. It was cool. And so I have one of the older fellas in my car. We had pulled over, and it's always the same old shit. So where are you guys headed tonight? And him and I sat there, and the cop looked at us, and we just sat there looking forward. And the cop looked at us, waiting for an answer. Well, you ain't getting one, bud. So finally, the older guy goes, "Oh, that way," point out the windshield, right? And then the cop goes, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, where are you coming from?" And he's like, "Oh fuck." He goes, "That way." And he points out the back window. And then, because we were pretty close to the bar we were going to anyway, I think he just did it to fuck with the cops, see what the cop would do. He was a passenger. He opened up the door and he said, you don't need me for nothing, eh? And the cop's like, no, I guess not. No. He shut the door and he walked away. So the cop's like, what the fuck? What's going on here? It's like, nothing's going on. It's just we're not hanging out with you, bud. Either give me a ticket or give me my shit back and let us get on our way. Okay. You got that right, K. Wayne. I can down to where I can count them on one or two fingers, brother. Hey, Nomadic Pirate, good to see you. I thought I saw Barbie in there too. We didn't see Barbie. No prospecting and dealing with the drama. But get up to nothing over nonsense. Yeah, the snowstorm. I thought you guys were on your car pileup. Holy fuck. That's a big one. I thought you guys were doing the Chinook last week. Now, I think we got the end of your Chinook today. It was +7 in southwestern Ontario. Everything's melting. It's all going to be melted before old Santa Claus comes. Frick. I've heard Repo from Rails Lanes. He was standing by a new member before he left the club. And the guy was literally trembling. He was so scared of the enemy. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's what I say when the other guys came and set up shop in our city, our city's only so big and there's only so much money to be made, right? It's a finite number if you stay within the confines of one city. And a lot of guys said, well, fuck, them guys have more money and more jewelry than we do. And they fucking left their shit on the clubhouse bar and put gone. Never seen them again. God, over the years I've seen them and talked to them, but crazy shit, man. And a lot of it was then a week later another guy would sneak in. Well, I don't want to have to against my friend who I was a friend with a week ago. Well, okay then, give us back your shit because I'd rather know that now than when I fucking need you. You know what I mean? So you're right. And then you know what? Before I got around and being a club guy, I was never picture myself being that kind of guy either, to be honest with you. So the guy was about to cry. That's fucking funny, Mel. The Masons are pretty much Scotsmen. Yeah, man. That's about it, man. That's what I say. That's why I figured, having being Scottish descent, I should probably have hooked up with them cats. But I'm pretty sure back in them days, again, you go anywhere, and if you break down, someone will come and get you, look after you, and feed you, and send you on your way next day for free. That's what that's what I like about those big outfits, and it's a network, and it's all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I do miss about the club. I knew somebody everywhere, man. I knew somebody everywhere, and I really fucking liked that shit. And I made a point to move around and go as many places and meet as many of my brothers and all over the world as I could, because it was fucking cool. I really liked that. So Chinook yesterday and a freak storm for about 2 hours today. Now the roads are ice. Beautiful. And that's what they said is going to come here. So it's all going to start melting. And then it's going to dip down to -8 or something and give us a nice coating of ice. At least that's what the lady on the London news said yesterday. Yeah, friends for life. Exactly, man. I dig that stuff. Because it ain't the same way in the club world, right? When you step out of the club, that's the end of your friendship. It's unfortunate it goes like that. But at the same time, as being a guy who watched guys leave the club, I understand it. Because when a dude leaves the club, like in my case, there's an explanation, but it doesn't mean that they had to really like it, right? It doesn't mean that the guys that was given the explanation to like my explanation. It just was what it was. So that was the end of that, right? But like I say, there's one of my guys who got bail. So he didn't lose his house. He didn't lose everything he owned. He got bail. And then all the people that got bail, they dropped their charges when the guys on the inside started pleading guilty because they got what they want. They got members of one of the big 3 motorcycle clubs to admit to being members of organized crime. That's what they wanted. So I got out. Somebody had an old Decker in the baskets. I bought it because it was cheap. I took it to the one guy's shop who was still in the club, and now I wasn't a member. He put it back together for me and stuff. But when I picked it up, the other guy who was in the shop with him, another club brother, just gave me that look across the room while I was paying my bill. I don't know what the fuck to tell you, bro. You know what I mean? Why don't you go and hang out inside there for that long and lose your house and your bike and have to shit you home, and you tell me how you fucking feel about it. So I guess maybe I shouldn't have been so outspoken about it, but that's how I felt about it. But like the class said, know your rights, all 3 of them. And if you're in a 1% club or one of them clubs that they decided is full of criminals, and if you're up to shady shit, then there's nothing good to come out of speaking with a policeman. There just isn't. Never will be. It's not advised. And now, because people have been sloppy over the years, the clubs do learn over the years Now, if there's a record of you having a conversation one-on-one, it's kind of like being in jail talking to a CO. You better have someone else there listening to know what you're talking about, because you shouldn't really be talking. But if you have something that's legit you need to talk about, there better be another person there to say he's not snitching. You know what I mean? Took me a long time to accept that not all of us are able to overcome fear and not be a coward. I had nothing but contempt for weak dudes, and I still be our alphas. And you know, it's funny because I'm not a physically strong dude, but I've always been a mentally strong dude, and I'll take that any day over physically strong. So you might be able to get the drop on me once and knock my face off, but it's probably not advisable. You know what I mean? And I can always slide around and know which guys. And when I got in the club, because I asked them, I said, "Fuck, man, there might come a time where it's a one-on-one and whatever sort of thing, and I'm going to be on the bad end." They said they don't care as long as you show up for it, and we won't on purpose put you in that situation. We'll always have another dude with you. So I was like, "Fuck, that sounds good," but it wasn't like they actually said, "Hey, you go hang out with him." We hung out together anyway. So it's not very often you see a 1%er roaming around by themselves. You know what I mean? Especially in the sketchy places and shit like that, sketchy situations. They're not going to roll in by themselves. Why the fuck would they? Nobody wants to get in a fight to lose. And my thinking used to be it's better to avoid the fight all the way together. Hey, Papa Penguin, good to see you tonight, bro. And Bobby Jones in the house, good to see you too. Hey, thanks, Nomadic. I appreciate that, bro. Never been a big guy. I'm strong because I'm not. Well, that's it. I do got a pretty big pain threshold over the years. Thanks, Grant. And that's all that we were going to talk about today. A little bit of thing about know your rights. I'm going to keep. I'm going to start going through these shows on Patreon, and rather than just walking around like I did today, I'll get the transcript out of it and reword it, and we'll have a bunch of backup material. That's right, Mountain South. That's the whole thing, and everyone's got to remember: shut it the fuck up, because what you think is a little thing, I've seen the things that people have said in passing. Actually, it happened to me. It happened to me. So after I went to England, because they wanted me to be a crown witness, a prosecuting witness, and I said, "Fuck, that doesn't sound like a good thing. I'm in a motorcycle club, right?" So it just so happened I was going to go on vacation. So I jumped on a plane. I went to England. And then it just so happened when the guys who were on trial got found not guilty and it was all done and washed up, my vacation ended and I came back to Canada. And apparently there's a bench warrant for me. So I turned myself in and I went down to the station and they said, "Fuck that guy. We don't care. The trial's over. It's a shit show. Just drop the charge and tell them to fuck off." So I was back out in the streets by supper time. So that was cool. So I came home around December, mid-December. So there was a New Year's party in St. Catharines. And so we were all going. So me and a guy from another chapter up north hung out a fair bit, and he got together with me and he said, "Hey, listen, why don't you and I go down a day early and get a hotel room away from the clubhouse?" I said, "Fucking great idea," because I knew they were mad at me, right? I didn't want to spend New Year's in jail. So that's what we did. So the New Year's, middle of the afternoon, we called a cab. Didn't even take our vehicles anywhere near the fucking joint. And by Jesus, but a block from the clubhouse, they pulled us over in the cab. So the one cop who pulled us over was a London cop, but he was a biker cop from London. He fucking hated me, old Tom. So Tom he grabs me and pulls me out of the cab and all aggressive and jostles me around. I'm like, "Oh, well, what the fuck's the matter with you, man?" He's like, "You did me a dirty. You did your brothers a dirty by not showing up." I go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's your job to get the conviction, not my fucking job." So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So he always had a hard on for me. He goes, did the fucking club tell you to go to England? I go, nobody fucking tells me what to do, man. Fuck off. Like, get out of here. So we left. We went to the party. So then when they picked us all up, rounded us all up, you know, I go to bail court. That conversation comes up in bail court where he's like, this guy has the means to leave the country, blah, blah, blah. You know, you knew bail was going to be hard for me after I made that move, right? So they're like, and when we asked him if the club made him do it, he said, nobody makes me do fucking anything. So my first time up in front of the bail court was go back to the fucking county bucket, pal. So that was the end of that one. Thanks, Rob. Thank you for that, bro. I'm glad you guys are all here, man. So loud. Good to see you, bro. Always a pleasure, man. Much love to you too, brother. Masons have a lot of power still today. They charge the OPG. They're in charge of the OPG, Ontario Power Generation, right? And they're also in charge of the OPP. See, that kind of ties into something. My old buddy and his old Scottish dad, he worked at the Bruce. We have the right to remain silent, but they usually lack the ability. That's the problem, right? And like I say, even that stupid conversation I had with that cop on New Year's Eve, me being a smart ass, nobody tells me what to do, came back to bite me in the ass in bail court years later. And they don't care. They'll hold on to it. A lot of union halls as well, lots of power that nobody has a clue about. They teach you how to be a good person. Yeah. I think the Masons still, you know, there's always that list of all the American presidents who were Freemasons or members of the Bones or shit like that, right? Fear makes people stupid when silence is frankly power. And you know what? A lot of people speak when they're nervous, right? So they're nervous. They think there's the handcuffs coming at them, and they're thinking, fuck it, I'd rather go home tonight. And they blurt some stupid shit out, right? And some guys might take that step over the line and blurt out shit that makes them a snitch. You never know. And the other thing is, you never fucking know. If your brother was out on the side road getting pulled over and said some stupid shit to a cop, how the fuck are you ever going to know? You have to be able to trust all them cats that are in your clubhouse, shaking your hand, hugging you, calling you bro, giving you a kiss, or have got the same fucking standards as you got. And you have to fucking put a lot of fucking faith in that. A lot of years of your life to depend on that, right? Best be silent and thought the fool, then speak and remove all doubt. Yep, you got that one, bro. You got that one. But yeah, like I say, I'm keeping it real, goes on. Yeah, that was me keeping it real, Papa, man. I thought I was fucking telling them a little bit of what's for, but they knew better than that. They fucking know. When they ask you a question, there's a fucking reason that even a stupid question like that, there's a reason that they're asking it. And I thought, in my brilliant mind, I thought, well, I won't make it sound like the club makes us do stuff, right? Hey, Steve, good to see you tonight, bro. And to be honest with you, the club never told me to do fuck all like shit like that. Not how it goes. I have 7 brothers. Holy fuck, bro. Your mom must have been pulling her hair out with 8 fucking boys in her house. Woo! Once upon a time, 4 of us were all in the same joint for various armed robberies. Holy fuck, bro. Was that back in the day before they chucked everybody a fucking fin? Used to be a fin. Oh, gun involved 10. I knew a guy that did banks. He got a fucking solid 7. Or a solid 20, I mean. And I think he did fucking almost every one of them 20, man. He was in there for a long, long time. He was my club sponsor's blood brother. So he wasn't a member, but he was family, right? Mountain woman in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, it feels like it, eh? More times people who work in a trade know more than random members of the public about the job. That also applies to cops. Odds are the average citizen doesn't know more of the law than that. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of the stuff that the cops are thinking they're arresting you on. Oh, this is that. You get up in the court. Well, I've had a lot of stuff just go away after I got bail, and they're doing pretrial motions and shit like that. And I've had a lot of charges. Just hire the right lawyer. You have to hire. That's the other thing. If you're going to be in that life, you better have a fucking what they call it, your down payment for the lawyer, a retainer. You better have a retainer tucked away somewhere at your parents' house or somewhere. But I always, because back in the day, I was, 20 some years ago now, I always had at least 10 or so at my dad's house to at least get me through bail court. And then if you're going in a higher court, then you burned out your money and you better have some more somewhere else, because lawyers don't give a fuck. All they want is paid, man. That's where they're at. So loud. Yeah, hit that old like button, everybody. You say nothing, Bob. Remember, nothing. Right. If you say nothing, then you got nothing to remember. And you don't have to remember how you said it. You don't have to remember the context that you said it in. Just fucking don't worry about it. I had the head of cannabis enforcement call me and ask me to go for coffee. I said, exactly, right? Fuck, go for coffee. What are they talking, those silly fuckers? Exactly. It was so funny because they thought for sure I was coming in to be a Crown witness, and they were calling me on my fucking house phone. I fucking hated it, right? Hey, listen, the prelim's been put off for a day, so you don't have to come tomorrow, but you have to be ready for the next day, okay? Just make sure you're there. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll be on there, man. Don't gotta worry about me. And then fucking all of a sudden the seat cell came up, and yeah. I was in England drinking a fucking pint. Yeah, who was saying that the Vancouver fucking jail's food was good? I've heard that they got carpet in their fucking jails. What? Carpet? All they got in Ontario is concrete shit for people to get their heads slammed off. Ain't no fun. Anyone who steps in a courtroom who steps in a courtroom is a damn fool. With a paid attorney? Are you mean without one, bro? Or with one? We ran the joiners 5 tiers. We have 4 of them. They split us up. One brother got 25 years. The other one, 21. Holy fuck, bro. Wow. And the other guy got 10. That's a lot of fucking years added up between those 3 brothers, man. What a bummer. Are they out now? I hope they're all out now. Yeah, 2 years dead time. Exactly. That's the thing about Canada. It takes for fucking ever. Yeah, I thought you meant without. Exactly. Yeah, you gotta have a fucking mouthpiece for you, even if he's a bum. When I got taken down after the club, I got taken down up in Northern Ontario, and my fucking bail lawyer was willing to work for product. So I knew he was a fucking bum. He gets there for bail court. He reeks like fucking wine. I don't think he's been to bed yet. So needless to say, I sat in there for another, 8-10 months to get a high court bail hearing. And usually in Canada, hopefully, you get out on a high court bail hearing. If not, fucking buckle down, because you're eating a lot of jail food before the fucking trial comes up, you know? Yeah, exactly. What's the punchline on that one, bro? Yeah, it's like the keyboard, not the bourbon. It's got to be that, bro. Could never be the fucking bourbon, my brother. So funny, when you go to Europe, they ain't got none of that shit, eh? And at the time I was in Portugal, I asked for whiskey, and they're fucking handing you scotch. Yes, ain't the fucking we drink rye whiskey in Canada. We don't really drink too much bourbon either, at least not that I'm aware of. Dual Vancouver pretrial had radios in the wall, single cells. Oh, dude, you press a button for milk? Get the fuck. We used to have the fucking radios in the walls, and the young kids had to fucking pull them off the walls, hide their shit in there, and then the screws get missing, and then The radios come out and the steel plate goes across, and that's the fucking end of the having tunes in your cell. Good for you. Good for you, bro. That's the best way to be. Stay the fuck out of them. It's way bad. Barton Street was bad. That's where they got my brother Floyd. They ghost trained Floyd. And when they got him down to Barton Street, they didn't fucking let him on the range. The guards gave it to him in some room somewhere, and he was never the same since. And he's since passed, rest in peace, Floyd, brother. But yeah, man. And he was a Golden Glove boxer. So whatever jail he went to, he ran it within. And he was a big motherfucker. And he was a native motherfucker. So he knew everybody. So after a couple years of dead time, they went down and they mushed his fucking peanut, man. It was a bummer. See my links in the mainstream media calls me a crime boss. Them motherfuckers. Oh, did you? I'll have to go back and look for them, bro. I'm not sure if I opened them or not. Worst I ever got called. Make the old man laugh. That's funny. Oh, that's good. The worst I ever got called. They pulled me up in front of the court, Ken Bell court, right? And then the crown goes, "This man's a career criminal." I'm like, what in the fuck are you talking about, bud? I've had lots of jobs. This man's a career criminal. I'm fucking 30 years old. How much of a fucking career have I had? Give me a break. We get a public defender in the States get paid the same whether you plea bargain or go to trial. Same up here. They get a certificate for worth so much money. End of story. Yeah. Basically the same up here. So they dump truck you. That's what they call basically the dump truck lawyers. So if you're getting legal aid, your lawyer's making a deal for you to plead guilty. So one of their paying clients gets a backdoor deal to go home. That's usually how it works in Canada. Yeah. So 5 will get you started down there. I always had 10 ready to go. Oh, you're all out today. Good for you, bro. That's good to hear, man. Oh, did you know Floyd too, Rob? Yeah, man. He was a crazy dude, man. But he was nice to have on your fucking team, I tell you that. It was really good knowing Floyd was on your team. Yeah, exactly, right? 401k, exactly, man. Like, what the fuck? Where's my pension? A career criminal. I hear some of this crazy shit. Where are you sending it, bro? Are you sending it on my messenger? They churn out plea bargains, yeah. Well, they do anyway to clear the system. Fuck off. I've never taken a plea bargain, man. Never. Mm-mm. Oh wait, yes I did. Yes I did on the OC charge. I guess I did. Sure I did, because it gave me time served. Yeah, so I did take a plea bargain on that one. And that was the best deal. The best deal for all of us cats out there was mine, or mine and Alex's. But yeah, plea bargains still a win. So DA gets to run for office claiming wins. Exactly. Yeah, like you said, I did one on that one, and it was better than the guys who sat and waited for the trial. 7 years in and out of custody and being on paper. No, man. You put it in the chat. Where'd it go? Maybe they won't let you put links in the chat, bro. All it says is there's one of the links. If you want, though, send it to me on the messenger, brother. I'll check it out. But yeah. Well, I don't know if I can fix that on my end, bro. The DAs get reelected. See, down here, it's not an election thing for that shit. All that shit is just you're being hired. But don't a lot of public defenders do a couple years doing that shit work so they can get on with a big agency after a while? If you're lucky, folks can get a pro bono attorney. Yeah, the pro bono guys are nice. There was a good one up here in Canada called James Lockyer, and he did all the trials of DNA overturned evidence. what's it called? The Justice something. So he did a lot of that up here in Canada. A lot of guys that were down doing life bits walked out of the fucking jail, and it still took fucking forever. And when he overturned their evidence with DNA testing, it still took the fucking courts ages to say, okay, this guy can go home. It's a shit show. Same with down there, I'm sure. Right. In pretrial custody, they're already giving you fucking time anyway, right? Which is a big drag. So you're already doing time without a conviction. Frequent stepping stone. Same with the prosecutor's office. Yeah. Each district basically has so many case per court, refusing to take randomly assigned cases. Good deal. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But all of ours are hired. Oh, okay. So that's why it only lets the mods. Thanks for telling us that, Pop. I appreciate that. Well, all right, guys and girls. I appreciate everyone who dropped in. We basically just shot the shit again today, but what the fuck? As long as you guys find it entertaining, I always got a story or two to tell. And we can always find something to make a show out of. So what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll do the interview tomorrow with Lincoln County MC again. Good people. They got a great big bike fest already planned for next September. Thanks, Papa. I like seeing you in the chat too, bro. I dig it when you guys pop in. Post on my posts. Okay, bro. Thank you. I'll go check it out. And we'll bring it on. Thanks, Bobby. Good to see you again tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Where were you? There you were. Okay. And all of a sudden it jumped up. Thanks, K. Wayne. I appreciate you, bro. Always thank you guys. And like Bruce said, hit the like and the subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm sure you have. And good night. Make me a mod. No, let's do it tomorrow, Mouth of South, if you don't mind. Just because I want to pack this one in. Let's do it tomorrow before we get kicking with that interview, or for Friday or whatever. We'll get her on there, brother. We'll get her on there because I don't know how to do all that shit on the fly. Thank you, Ryan, for dropping in. I appreciate that, bro. And thank you again, Snap. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. And John, you too, brother. Thanks for dropping in, man. You drop in a lot. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. And you too, Steve. And like I say, so for the merch, I've got a guy to drop ship. So whatever stuff I ordered, I asked her to stop it, and I'm going to try to get that paid for and figured out. But anyways, we're going to do drop ship. It's going to have long sleeve tees. You can pick your own designs. He's getting the website made for it now. It's going to be what's that called? Shopify website. I can link it to the YouTube channel, and I'll link it all over the Facebook stuff. And then people can start making their orders right from the web page, and bam, it'll get shipped to you. So the way he does it, he knows the shippers and all that shit. So he's going to take care of that, and I'm going to take care of the orders and the payments coming through and all that, and it'll all come together, man. So we should have the merch flying like within a week or so, man. I'm very excited about it. So we'll get that shit all going too. And I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much for being in the chat. And yeah, I think Mouth would be a good mod. Like I said, I would have done it, but I don't know how to do that shit on the fly. But I you know what? I want to add K Wayne as a mod too. So I'm gonna add you guys. Give me a day or something to figure all that shit out, guys. And if you get some notification that you're a mod, that means I done it. Okay. The Lucier. Okay, brother. I will. So that was all in Windsor when all that was going down. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, and the merch will be good. It'll be a good one, man. Oh, really? It's that big, eh? That's cool. Yeah, man. 100% Mouse South's good, dude. 100%. I dig them. So, okay, guys. I'm going to let you guys all go. Again, much love to everyone. We'll be here again tomorrow. Good night.